Inspiring messages,
Months into the pregnancy, I had just felt this lump in the right.
making a difference.
Say, Anne-Marie, when the right season comes.
It's life, health, family, marriage, divorce, and so much more.
Today is separation in marriage. On set is my dear friend Gemma.
Heart of a Woman, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. right here on TIN.
Victim of satanic attack since we had a very good life.
Heart of a Woman.
From my heart to yours. Bye-bye.
Hi, welcome once again to Heart of a Woman. I am Shorn DesVignes-Daniels, your host for this program. And it's always a pleasure being here with you. And on set with me is my dear friend, Reverend Zelia DeGan. So I love to talk about Zelia and all the things that she has accomplished. I mean, Zelia, welcome. Welcome. You are, before I even wanted to introduce you, you started laughing and you make me lose my thought.
Oh my,
yes.
that's
But Zelia, it's always nice when I could meet with you and talk with you, and you're one of those people that always have me laughing because you always tell me something. Yeah.
Don't tell all our secret.
I would not. But Zelia, you've done so much in the kingdom. You're a lecturer at Tobago campus. You're an author. I don't know if much people know that about you. And what's the name of your book?
But for Ashes. But for Ashes. But it has two names, so you can also, because it has capital B, capital U, capital T.
Right.
But when you say it like that, you have But for Ashes, or it can be B-U-T, based upon the sounding of it, Beauty for Ashes, taken straight out of that scripture in Isaiah.
Right, but we will talk a little more about book. And, lecturer, author, you're also now a radio personality.
Wow.
I love that the name of your show on Pulse.
Sunday Moby.
Sunday Moby?
Yes.
Sunday
it
Moby.
was Midday Moby, but now it's Sunday Moby.
Sunday Moby. And
Yes.
you, of course, are mother. It's three.
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 Oh, yes,
Three.
Well, the fourth one is probably the puppy doll, but it's three.
Three
children.
Three beautiful, intelligent, talented children, and your dear husband, so
Of course.
supportive.
Yes.
And I'm sorry that he couldn't be here with us, today, because what we want to talk about, is overcoming. That's the topic today, overcoming. And we've done a series of couple shows about people that overcame certain things.
Okay.
And your story is awesome, and I can't wait to get into it. So Zelia, once again, welcome.
Yes, thank
welcome.
you, Sean, my dear friend.
Yes, so darling, I know you've been through a rough time, but who would know? This is really beautiful Ashes. Tell us a little bit of your story. I know that time when you were going through your challenges, I myself was going through some stuff. And it's amazing, we had a little joke before we came on set talking about friends wearing the same clothes. We wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when was it? Was that 2010?
2010, you're talking about the damage of my back, or?
Yeah, so let's talk about the back first, because
Okay.
you had the back issue before.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In 2010, I fell at the Division of Education when they were back at TLH building. They were doing renovations to the building, and I had two of my colleagues came out of a meeting, and because the floors were dug up, we fell. I got hit the hardest, and right after, I could not move. And going to the doctor, they said that I was paralyzed, 25% paralyzed on my left side, and it would get worse unless I got surgery. But, in the midst of it, I could not stand up. I could not, lie down. My husband was the one who had to dress me, bathe me, turn me over, because it was just so painful, and you couldn't move because of the damage to the back.
Yes.
And the doctor said that I needed to do surgery right away. But you were advised by so many people not to do surgery, but at the end of the day, I was able to go abroad, and that was one of the hardest things, because not being able to sit for too long, you have to be lying. And you had to travel for 5 hours on a plane. I had to get the assistance of the air hostess who had to prop me up from time to time to make sure within that 5-hour flight that I was able to be comfortable. I went alone without my husband because my children, they were much younger. And, I was able to go to a doctor who I would say, thank God, I did not one day do surgery, but he was able to do therapy that helped me to walk again. And, with the grace of God, all things are possible.
Yes.
I say that because when I went to the doctor for the first time, I remember, I walked with all my MRIs that I did in Trinidad and Tobago and my scans and everything. And I went and I gave it to him and he said, no, I don't want to see it. He just said, turn over, and he started touching the back. And then he said, you know what, this is what has happened to you. And people may not understand the S1, S2 of your spine and whatever. And he was explaining that, it's like a jelly bun, and the jelly inside of it was squashed out from that fall. So everything came down.
Okay.
And it was locked there. And if there is nothing to be done, usually it cannot go back in, right? And so you have to bear the pain, etc. And he was explaining all of that, and then he put up the x-ray. And from the moment he put up the x-ray, I could have seen what was wrong with me. The x-rays were here in Tobago, and they could not tell me what was wrong with me. They just said, whatever. And I was amazed. I was amazed because this man told me what was wrong, and I could have understood after he spoke with me and then put the x-ray on what was really wrong with me. And I had to endure that therapy. It was hard, it was painful. And one of the hardest things is when I remember being able to walk the first time, I said to the people I was staying with, do not come for me. I will take a taxi. I will get home, because I wanted to walk. I wanted to feel the experience of being able to walk without assistance, being able to sit. I had to change my diet. And this doctor, he did something holistically, spiritually, mentally, everything. It was holistic. And I felt better.
And if anybody that really knows Zelia DeGans, Reverend Zelia DeGans, that woman don't stay quiet, always on the move. If you say, let us do so, let's do this, she's always saying, yeah, we want to do it. So I could just imagine, Zelia, that not being able to move, that probably was very frustrating for you.
Not just frustrating for me, but for my family.
Your family. Good.
For my
and
family.
Your kids, how old are you? Were your children then?
Yes. My eldest would have been about 9. And I had a 1-year-old.
That's Jesse.
Jesse, yes. A year. He was a year, and then the other one was just about 3 years.
Right, so these are children that need mommy to be active and about.
And so it was, as I said, it was the grace of God, because people really prayed for this process for me to be healed. I mean, I can't even begin to go through, but it was the beginning of a testimony of what God could do. Because I remember saying to the doctor, after being able to move, I said to him, I'm so happy. And then I went home, because this was in New Jersey. I was staying in New York. I stayed in New Jersey it's amazing, by some friends of a friend, etc.
Yes, how God put people
in place who I didn't know, and they really, really treated me as family. And when I got back to New York, I remember, okay, I'm back and it's time to come home. And as I got back, that same day I got back, I could not move again.
Wow.
And I was really, really upset. And I called the doctor and I said, you said you did work. And I started to get upset with him. I mean, because you're paying money. And he said, you said to me, you are a woman of God and you pray. And this is what you're saying to me. I felt very embarrassed.
Yes.
Very,
like,
very.
Where's my faith?
Yes, very embarrassed. And I just said nothing, and I went back and I started to pray. And the morning I woke up, I did this and I realized, wait, I could move my feet. And I turned and I realized there was no pain. I could actually turn on the bed. So I said, okay, let me move the other one. And it was able to move. So I got up and I said, okay, I need to call the doctor. But as I was about to call him, the phone rang. And it was on the doctor on the line. I said, I called to let you know that I could move. I thank you. And he's like, yeah. He said, I just finished praying for you.
Wow. So
And
he's a believer as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was just very funny. And I said, I thank you because God set me in the right place with the right doctor, that we were able to connect, and we still connect. And even recently I said to him, you need to come to the best place on earth, which is Trinidad and Tobago, especially Tobago, so that, and I said, come and do some free practices. And he's really looking into doing something like that, so that he can assist some of our people, because I see it as networking, as doing something, giving something back. So that is something that I'm working on, to get him here to do some free therapy and practice with people who may be suffering with their back for so long.
Right.
And you have the thought that you needed to do surgery, because my surgery was supposed to cost me $120,000, and I did not pay that.
Amen.
Right.
Because of your faith and God setting you up with the right person, so you all collaborated in faith and prayer, and that's an amazing thing, that God, I believe, gives doctors the wisdom to do that. But when you have a doctor that is a believer and he believes in prayer as well, girl, that is an awesome thing.
Awesome.
So you got back here and business as usual.
Business as usual.
I know you. Business as usual. I want to talk a little bit about your children, because your children, to me, I think there are 3 amazing people. My dear girl, Jisha.
Well, I know that's your daughter.
That's my daughter.
Yes.
I love this little girl so much. Hey, Jisha. She's so sweet. And she came to my classes, and she's such a lady. I have a group of ladies too, a group of young ladies that I like. Miss Talissa's daughter is also my daughter as well.
Okay, right.
And I'm just waiting to see what they're going to be like when they're 20, and I'm excited to see that. But Jaisha is an athlete.
Yes, she is.
She's an athlete.
Yes.
And she's won a lot of...
Yeah, well, she is in table tennis. That's a major sport. So she has won national titles as well as international titles, Caribbean titles, not international as yet, in table tennis. She has also won the Junior Sportswoman of the Year. So these are some of her accomplishments, as well as going to the pen relays to participate in athletics, which was never her challenge, but she just picked up athletics recently at her school sports, and was able to transform all that energy into, being one of the top athletes. Yeah. And so she balances one
academically, she's doing well.
She's at the top of her game. And so one of the things that I said to people that I've admired about her, and this has been since she was a child, that I was a very lazy parent, because from the time she got home, even from first year, second year, she would say, I have homework, I have this to do, and she would do it. She took up the sports of table tennis at the age of 8, 9. And that never deterred her from her schoolwork. The first thing she would do is that she would have practice from, say, until 7 o'clock in the night. She gets home, she bathe, she eat. And then she said, I have homework to do. And she would do her homework.
Yes.
And, I started to check, and then I realized most of the time she gets everything right. So after that, she just did her work. She never asked for help. And she would do her work. And I remember being in high school now, and she had table tennis tournament. She looked so tired. She had exams. And I said to her, could you go to sleep and get up? And she said, excuse me, Mommy, you don't know what tomorrow holds.
Wow.
Right? Let me do what I need to do, because... And from that, I just had to leave her alone, because...
And just support
her. She's very disciplined. So that has been one of the strong points. I didn't have to work too hard with her.
All right. So, we are taking a quick break, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.